Okay, here in Module 1, Video 9, I'm going to talk about the various kinds of media that you can use to install Windows, either an update or I should say an upgrade or a clean install. First of all, Windows Update itself. If you had a Windows 7 or a Windows 8 machine, you would be prompted to upgrade to Windows 10. Now, I don't know if you currently have one, if it will still do that. I know at least during the first year or two, it always urges you to upgrade those. But at least at one point, the Windows Update itself, in other words, if I go here to Start and then to Settings and go to Update and Windows Update, I would be prompted to upgrade to Windows 10. And then there's something called the Windows Media Creator tool. Now, I gave a URL here that you can get to, but I already have here typed into Google just download Windows 10, and the download Windows 10 disk image ISO file came up. I'm going to click that, and what I see here is something called Download Tool Now. And if I download that tool, what I get is the Windows Media Creation tool. I have it on my desktop here, so I've already downloaded it, and you notice it actually says Media Creation Tool 1903. It always gives you the latest version. So I keep these older ones around as I go along. I keep an 1809 and an 1803 and so on. But it's always best to download the latest one and use it if you're going to install Windows 10. Now, when you run this thing, and I'm going to go ahead and click it and run it. And while I'm waiting for that to come up, let's close this other thing. While I'm waiting for that to come up, it's going to take a moment. Let's go back to my notes. And you'll see that the media creation tool really has one interface in it that is going to allow us to upgrade, and it's an upgrade only. However, it will also allow us to create media for a clean install. It allows us to create a bootable DVD or a bootable USB or an ISO file. Let's go back here. We now have the terms, so I'll say accept that, and now this is going to take a moment again, and in a moment when this comes up, we're going to see the differences between what we can do with this media creation tool. There we go. What I have is upgrade this PC now, and if I choose this option and click next, which I'm not going to do, it's going to immediately upgrade my PC from Windows 7 or Windows 8 to Windows 10. Now, this is only an upgrade if I choose that upgrade this PC now option. However, I have another option. See where I have bootable DVD here? If I click this option down here, I can create a bootable DVD, I can create a bootable USB flash drive, or I can create an ISO file. So if I were to click next here, it's going to take off and step me through choosing, well, do I want 64-bit, 32-bit, both, what edition? I only have one option there, Windows 10, what language, and so on. I'm not going to step through this whole thing because I've already done it, and I chose, actually, I will do part of it because I want you to see this next one, USB flash drive or ISO file. Now, what about DVD? Well, if I want a DVD, I would choose ISO file, and then it would write that to a DVD later. So these are my options, USB or ISO file, and then bootable DVD if I choose ISO. Now, I'm not going to finish that because I already have an image here on my desktop, and in this case I let it make an ISO file. Now, if I have a bootable DVD or a bootable USB, it's real simple. I'm going to plug that thing into my machine, and I'm going to boot to that DVD or do that USB if I want to do a clean install. If I'm going to do an upgrade, then I'm going to boot up to my Windows 7 or my Windows 8, and then open up the bootable DVD or the bootable USB and run the setup.exe file on that USB or DVD. So in other words, I'm going to do it from within Windows if I want an upgrade. Or I'm going to boot to the disk itself if I want a clean install. I can do an upgrade from an ISO file because I'm going to load it as though it's a DVD. And let me show you what I mean. I'm going to go back to my desktop here. Here's my ISO file. I'm going to right-click that ISO file and say Mount. And now when I open my File Explorer, you see here I have DVD, ESD, ISO, J drive, and it looks to my computer as though this is a DVD. It's not, it's just a file. But for all practical purposes, it looks like a DVD. So I can upgrade from here simply by clicking the setup.exe file and do an upgrade from whatever operating system I'm in to a Windows 10 operating system. So I know this sounds a little bit complex, but it's really not that complex. And the Windows Update tool is kind of the key to all of those. There are other places that you can get this. For example, if you have a subscription to Azure for Education, you can download an ISO image from there as well. But you can always create one from here. Now this will be a trial image, and we'll talk about the licensing later on. But let's stop this one for now, and we'll go on to a few extra notes and some of these other items here in the next video.